Hello, everyone, to our first ever podcast of StreamLevels. It's I, Funk, and here I am with my co host, twinkietalks.
Hello, everyone. It's gonna be really hard to not talk over each other.
Oh,
But
we'll get the
hello.
hang of it. We'll get the hang of it.
Yep, I'll totally get the hang of it. But yeah,
Oh,
it is the first episode of Stream Levels podcast. We're already off to a really good start. But yeah.
I mean,
Funk, you wanna look at chat just for a second?
I looked at it. I said change the title,
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
but I changed
Um,
it. What does it still say?
I mean it still says Overwatch and all
Oh,
that
no,
for
no,
me.
no. No, you just have to refresh it. That's all. I
Okay,
changed. I made
fair
sure I
enough.
changed it. Yeah. But so on today's subject of our podcast, we're gonna go over a little bit about ourselves, each streamer, our background story, why we wanted to start the podcast, and then we're gonna go into our first topic of today, which will be why do you stream? What made you want to get into streaming, and so on and so forth. So with that, Twinkie, do you want to go ahead and start the conversation with a little bit
Yeah,
about yourself?
totally want to start the conversation by first of all saying Funk totally stole my line. That's like how I talk. I'm usually the guy who's like, Why do you start streaming? Why are you so passionate about streaming?" and asking all the questions. But it's nice to be asked the questions sometimes.
Well, there you go.
Um,
There you go. Get to be the first one.
okay, so well, my story's kind of long. That's the thing. I mean, I always when I get into this topic, and I always get into this topic a lot during my own stream. But the thing is that like I try to make it about like a passion. Like I have a passion for streaming. I have this community that I'm building. I have this whole like kind of vision that I'm going through, and it didn't always start out like that. By the way, that's also something I want to stress. Like I didn't always start out thinking that I'm aiming for this. Like how I started out was just I saw a bunch of people playing video games on the internet. I was like, that looks cool. And that was actually in 2012. And then I realized I didn't have the internet to actually stream. um,
You didn't have
but
internet to stream.
oh boy,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I forgot because
that's
you
okay.
in a college area, of course, so the internet wasn't the most stable. Well,
Oh,
actually, I don't know.
We're talking pre-college right now.
Oh, so you wanted to do it before you got into college?
Yeah, I mean, thing is, I don't know if this is where you come from, but I used to watch a lot of Let's Plays. Like that's how I kind of got into the whole, okay, so there's people playing video games on the internet, and it's actually really fun to watch them. Like you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to just watch them because they're doing like tournament stuff or they're really pro players. Some people are just fun to watch and funny to watch, and that's kind of like that was kind of the YouTube space that got me into the whole thing that you can actually play and record video games or like record yourself doing something on the internet, and
Right.
people want to watch it, and you can actually you can actually make something out of that. And like that's what got me into the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if people are not aware, I don't know why this is an interview about me. What about you? But
Well, I mean, we're just giving a little bit about each other, but I guess we could say in this case, when I started, I actually when getting into Twitch, it probably wasn't like 2 years ago when I actually started streaming is when I actually got into Twitch. I was watching Aiden. If y'all don't know who Aiden is, another streamer. We won't really get into much about other parts, but more about ourselves. But I got into watching his stream, and I was watching it. I was enjoying it. It was a lot of fun. Then I started venturing out from there to see other streamers, and then the amount of interaction between the communities and the streamer and how much fun they really had really gave me that boost. Like, yo, I kind of try out streaming. Maybe it would work out for me. And then that's how I got into it. So pretty much, I've only been here on this platform for 2 years. Myself, from your experience, it sounds like you've been here for many years. Like I'm guessing when Justin TV was a thing, that's what it's called, right? Not quite sure.
uh, I mean, I okay, so I started watching around like 2014. But
Oh,
I was watching a lot of Let's Play stuff around like
right.
2012. So yeah,
So that was on YouTube though.
that was on YouTube. That's the thing.
Okay.
Twitch wasn't like Twitch was just in TV, but I think Twitch mainly at the beginning was only famous for like I knew it from League of Legends tournaments. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I kind of knew it from, and a lot of people knew it because of either League or WoW. But they like there wasn't a lot of entertainment kind of stuff happening on Twitch. I think
Right.
around 2012 is when I actually found out that okay, Twitch is a thing where you can do this live.
Mm-hmm.
whereas YouTube is a thing where you do this recorded.
Right.
It was because like a YouTuber that I used to watch decided that he's gonna kind of quit everything, quit his job, and he's gonna move to Twitch. Which, by the way, guys, don't do that. That was 2012. This is 2019. That's not a viable thing anymore.
Right. I,
um,
I don't know, because when I think about like Twitch, like before even any of this was like a thing, it never crossed my mind. Especially those who make a living off of YouTube themselves. It just was just like mind blowing. Like, how is that not an actual thing? It's not considered a real job, but now it's one of those things you can actually make a hobby out of it, or a profession, or like I said, hobby. You can make something out of it on the side where it can bring in some kind of income, or you can do it just as for fun, friendly kind of thing, meet people, which a lot of people do nowadays. So just the fact that people have been doing this for years on, it's just still mind boggling to me.
why do you do it though, Funk?
Why do I stream?
Hmm.
Man, I think I've been asked a couple of times, and my answer probably hasn't been the more publicly accepted for the time being. Because back in the day, when I say back in the day, like I've been here for many years, streaming, if you was going streaming on the wrong path, the wrong direction, was considered a bad thing. For example, when I started, I I play games, obviously. Um, I wanted to like interact with new people, but I also saw it as a money side of it, as a business, being able to have some kind of separate income while playing games, and seeing it from other people, stream and then make kind of money. Those who are considered getting subs, partner, big time 1%. Seeing that as having another income, and really gave me that positive drive to want to do it. So that was my initial thought when going into streaming, especially on Twitch, was to get some money, meet some friends on the side, and then hopefully go from there, make a little side hobby. If it became full time, that would be something I considered. But as time grew by, I still had the same mindset where I still want to keep it as a somewhat of an income, which I do at the moment. But I've come to realize that it would not be a full time gig for me. Just because, as a person myself, realizing over the years that I'm kind of going away from gaming itself and more towards something that is considered a different approach, which is the reason why I'm getting into this podcasting with my co-host Twinkie. So that's like my mindset when I started doing some streaming, getting into it, stuff like that. But
But like that's the interesting thing that you did bring up, that you did come into it thinking that you could. Oh wow, hey Jackson. You did come into it thinking that you could actually make money off this platform, and that's
right.
like, I do want to stress that that is a completely okay, that's a completely okay opinion to have, by the way. Like, it's completely fine to actually think that you can make money. I mean, I came in here and I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit affiliate, I'm totally gonna make a lot of money. That's completely okay. I thought of that too.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
I mean, like, when you get that, I don't know how many people would like relate to the feeling, but when you get that first affiliate kind of email and like, oh, you're an affiliate, you're like, okay, so I'm gonna get so many subs now, and there'll be bits everywhere, and like, I'm gonna be
Money
earning an
falling from the
income.
skies.
I'm gonna drop out of college.
Ooh, I mean that's a
um,
big move, going from affiliate thinking you're gonna drop out of college now.
yeah, that's the thing. But at the same time you do kind of think of it that, yeah, there is an avenue here where you're doing something you like, you're doing something you really like, but there is a chance that you can kind of turn it into an income, even if it's like a tinier income, or like, kind of hobby kind of an income. It's still an income, and that's completely okay. um Though, do you think, like, you actually pointed out that it's considered a bad thing, or you said it's kind of the bad path?
Right.
Why do you think it's considered like a bad thing to actually come into streaming thinking that you're gonna make money? Because,
That I
okay,
mean,
continue.
I'm
Sorry.
yeah, sorry. I do think what you're saying is good, and why I think that, when people say if you're going to stream and think about money, it's considered a bad thing. Like I said, when I started out, the thing about streaming was, if you're doing it for the money, you're not gonna have a good time. You're not gonna have fun because you're worried about income, people donating. It's totally up to them whether they want to support your channel or not. It's not a requirement. And a lot of people are saying going into that, you're not gonna make it, far within the industry of the entertainment business, which of live streaming. But as people, gradually get aware of, you can have that different approach, it's now becoming more of an acceptance of, okay, if you want to stream for money, that's okay. But you just have to keep in mind that it's not something that's forced upon with your viewers. and stuff like that. And that's the main thing to keep in mind of, because when I got the affiliate email, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm about to make some money. I'm about to get some money coming in. You know, I'm gonna have some side stuff, and I'm gonna grow from there. But I don't think most people really understand that once you're an affiliate, it's not that, you know, simple, and it's more complex as far as growing on the platform of Twitch. What do you think?
I mean, honestly, like I've come to realize this. I mean, I think anybody who hit affiliate will come to realize this is that affiliate just means that you have a button now. That's pretty
Yep.
much it's a glorified button. That's all
Mm-hmm.
affiliate is. It's nothing else. It just means that you have your foot in the door that you could do something
Right.
potentially now. Like the especially the requirements, and it's not just Twitch, like pretty much any website. You look at like Mixer, you look at D Live, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like pretty much any website, they'll give you this like this baseline requirement that you can actually kind of earn something. But like if you like to do that earning, that's completely on you. Like you need to have that plan in place to get you to that point. And lots of people when they're starting out, uh okay, hold up one second, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So we're gonna go on and discuss a little bit more about the affiliate. So for the audience right now, welcome on in to the first ever podcast. Me and Twinkie over here discussing the streaming aspect of why people stream. So we'll go to chat in a little bit, but I want to ask a question right now. When you got the affiliate button on your stream, what did you feel like? What was going through your mind when you got that email saying, "Hey, welcome to the affiliate program"? What is something that you felt like, which way your stream is going to go? Is it going to a different path? Is it now opening a lot of more doors, or do you still feel like you're in the same boat from when before and after you became an affiliate? King Sizzle from chat says, "I didn't think about the affiliate as moneymaker. It was more like awesome. I put emails in Twitch, and maybe some people can spread them around with awesome, with also getting some money." So,
Okay,
so
sorry about that.
it's okay. We just went into the audience real quick and kind of discussed about the affiliate program of before and after you hit affiliate, and did it kind of like broaden up your stream a little bit, or do you still feel like you're in the same path just because you just had an extra button from what you said?
Like that's the thing why I kind of like uh sidetracked. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand. My hand is a fish right now. That's
It's
the
the
thing.
wave of the ocean you
That's
gotta go through
why
with
I
streaming.
kind of sidetracked my journey when I kind of started. But like I just started streaming because I thought like if you guys look into YouTube and everything, YouTube doesn't like gaming anymore. We'll talk about that at some point too at the same time. But YouTube definitely doesn't like gaming anymore. And I'll actually say I did YouTube for a year before I started streaming. Nobody knows this. Some people have kind of found my YouTube channel and found kind of those let's plays that exist there that they're not great, but uh like that's the whole thing. Like I didn't have the internet to stream, but at the same time I kind of wanted to push into the direction of Twitch, and then Twitch has had this awesome community.
Hmm.
So what really got me into it is I kind of like I didn't even watch stuff on Twitch that regularly, but I got on the platform and I started and I looked into this game. Okay, Stardew Valley, that's a game that I really like. So I just went to a random stream and I was like, okay, hello, how are you, like all that. And then like at some point like that freaking clicked. Like that just like it clicked that like okay, I can interact with this person. They
Hmm.
interact back. They're playing a game that I love. We have this connection. This feels amazing. um and I was like, I want to have that connection. I've been like posting random Pokemon videos on YouTube, and like I don't feel like I have a connection with anyone. So why not? Let's just move away from a platform that doesn't really give heed to gaming, and let's just come on Twitch and let's spread our gaming journey kind of over there. But I will say that over time, or like that's how it started, right? I started streaming because I felt alone. I wanted to have a connection. I wanted
Hmm.
to kind of I wanted like I felt like I could start something, and I could like I could use my gaming and then also use my gaming to kind of
Hmm.
meet people and kind of have a community, all of that. Talk to people, just talk while I'm gaming either because I can't shut up, you guys know this. um but like it definitely evolved because like at some point I did start thinking that okay, this is bigger. this is bigger than just me sitting in front of a like sitting in front of a computer playing a video game and talking. I can actually discuss topics that are relevant. I can discuss topics that, like, some things that happen, that's something that's happening out in the world that might be affecting people. I can
Mm-hmm.
actually help people. I can actually reach out to people. So that's the point where like where it kind of shifted to, like, my why do you stream became not just like I want to play video games for fun on the internet,
Right.
to more like I want to have this awesome community on the internet, and I want to do something that I love and
Mm-hmm.
help people through it.
Right.
So like that's my main thing, that like it just it kind of evolved, and that I think that evolution happens to everyone at
Mm-hmm.
some point. Is just like you're gonna start streaming, and then you're gonna, like, obviously you start because you think it's fun,
Mm-hmm.
but then, like, at some point you realize that this whole thing that we're doing right now, we're two people that are, like, the statistic possibility of us two meeting without the existence of this website is completely impossible. But we're
Right.
two people, like one dude from Pakistan and one dude from, like, freaking Georgia in America. um we're sitting here doing a podcast. This is bigger than, like, than freaking, like, than just freaking sitting in your bedroom playing video games. Like,
Right.
this has a potential. And I know I sound superficial when I say stuff like this, but this is how I think.
Right. I mean, it's a good thing to touch on because of why you stream, to build connections. How you say you meet other people who have the same kind of interests, like you said, Stardew Valley, and then here you're going about two different people across the planet, one in Pakistan, one in Georgia in the U.S., getting together and now forming a podcast where people can come together, share their experiences, stuff like that. It is something that's remarkable. But we also have to mention that because he chose that path, I chose my path. It's okay to have different paths in the streaming industry. And if you want to get into streaming yourself, you don't have to have this mindset of, if I'm going to stream, I'm going to stream to make connections because that's how I'm going to get bigger, or I'm going to stream because I make money because that's how I'm going to get bigger. But you got to keep that mindset of everyone streams for a different reason. Some of them could be to spread a awareness of a certain thing that happened in their life, or something that they're really passionate about, or like Twinkie said, meet someone who want to have connections with someone across the globe, make new friends. We gotten away from that topic of you can't just meet someone online. It's not a true friendship. But here you are, going online on Twitch, forming bonds with other people, and actually having that kind of relationship where if one day you was to set out and meet somebody, boom, there you go. You can go to Georgia, or you can go to the UK because you made a friend over the internet, which back in the day was something considered not appropriate. You know what I mean?
I mean, you just went to TwitchCon in EU in Germany with a bunch of
Right.
people that you've never met before or from the internet.
Good point. Good point. The TwitchCon EU was, by the way, for those who haven't gone to EU before, it was amazing. It was actually a lot of fun meeting the people online. And I'm not gonna lie, my initial thought was, I'm about to meet some people I've never met in my life, only through online. I've never done anything like this before. Is it gonna be weird or awkward? But the moment I got there, it was literally right where we left off, like we was talking in Discord, cracking jokes, saying what's up, meeting, having plans on when to meet up, what to do at the TwitchCon, what to do afterwards. It just felt like pretty much like a discussion on Discord, but just in person this time. So if you've made a connection and both of y'all want to go to a TwitchCon, definitely do it. Meet up with them. I'm telling you, it's one of the best feelings ever, and I will never forget that. And I can't wait to the next TwitchCon I go to, whether it's in the NA or EU again, if I have the money for it, to go meet more people I've met. Because, like I said, it was one of those experiences I will never forget.
Like, that's basically, like, that's why I reiterate that, like, it's such an uplifting feeling to, like, meet some people that, like, that you literally connect with on a deeper level and you've never met before. And like it's just amazing. I do, however, want to, like, going to the other topic that we were talking about, and it's coming up in chat a little bit too, is the
Mm-hmm.
fact that looking at streaming as a sort of way to make money, and a lot of people kind of, even in the chat you see that a lot of people are having this thought where uh like you get into the numbers of it. Like, have the numbers ever played a part to you into like why you stream, or like did you change something about your stream, or did you change your like reasoning for your stream based on your numbers or based on some kind of viewership, like just like has that ever affected you? Because I see that topic coming up, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit as well.
As far as like when you're going in with the mindset of wanting to make money off of Twitch?
I mean, just generally, even yeah, for instance, like you have like your sub numbers, your viewer
Right.
counts, all of that. Like, how much does that come into play when you're thinking of like when you're streaming, why you're streaming, and all that?
So for those who are wanting to get into streaming for the money side of it, they have to think of it this way. Just like pretend it's a business itself. Most businesses that start out don't just get up and start running. It's very rare for that to happen. So keep that in mind. If you see someone who starts streaming, next you know they've already hit 10, 20, 30 viewers, congrats to them. Don't take it away from them. They worked hard. They deserve it, whatever the case may be. But you don't want to take it on yourself saying, what am I doing wrong? How come he's doing it? I'm not. You always want to look at the community you have and the analytics that you go through. So in my case, like I said, I started, going from into streaming as a side of money, business kind of it. And throughout the 2 years, it has been steadily going up and down. I've had subs all the way up to close to the 50 mark. I've had subs go all the way down to less than 10 throughout the career of my stream. But you want to find that kind of, I guess, similarity with your community. And one thing people think of is if I get like the hottest game out there, or I play every new game out, I'm gonna have people in. Or if I just play what's popping right now, people are gonna come into my stream. But that's not the case. You come in and you want to have kind of an idea of what I'm gonna bring to the stream, and then you bring it, and then when people see it and they enjoy the content, then they'll start talking about it, or you invest in it, and then you slowly go from there. It could take you 10 years to get big on Twitch. It can even get you less than a year. I've seen people who've hit partnership within a year, or it's taken them 7 years. It's just
Like
being able to be consistent throughout the time.
like that's something I want to expand upon that you said. The whole creating content and thinking people. I like if you're looking at Twitch as a business, then you see like every business has a business model, right? That's how a business makes money. I took some economic classes. Um
Hey, you took
but
business in school.
exactly. I actually got an A in that class. But okay, we're gonna stop flexing. Twinkie's gonna stop flexing. Um No, but every business has a business model that defines how you make money.
Mm-hmm.
On Twitch, as an affiliate or as a partner, the business model is voluntary. Nobody is being forced to pay you. Your like the content here is not pay per view. You're not getting paid per view. You're not getting paid per ad. Especially if you're a partner, there is some payments, but it's like 2 cents per ad, so it's not that much. But like if you're an affiliate, there's no such thing as pay per view. So what the business model for you right now is the fact that it's completely voluntary. You can either take that as, oh, I'm having so many low numbers, I'll never make it because I'll never have good sub amounts, or I'll never have good viewer counts, and so I'll never make money off the platform. Or you could take it as, this is my business. There is like, okay, so I have a video game design background, so I study a lot of stuff about video game businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's played mobile games, right? You all have phones, right? As a freaking
Ugh.
Bethesda person said once. Um, almost all mobile games work on a freemium model. That means there's a part of the game that is completely free and you can play the game entirely for free, but
Mm-hmm.
then there's stuff in the games that you unlock when you pay money. So basically the free content is what entices you to pay to unlock the premium content.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing for streaming. You're providing the best content that you can provide for free, that when people see that content, they can then choose to, okay, I want to support this content, I want this creator to make more of this content, and I want to see what they'll be able to do if they had the funds, if they had the money to make some premium content as well. Or if they're already providing some kind of premium service, then yeah, then you if you love that, if you provide the content for free, that's amazing, because
Mm-hmm.
again, it's completely voluntary. You have to provide something for free, that's amazing to entice someone to, okay, believe in you enough to actually, fund something that might not be free. And that's like specifically talking streaming. That's how, or anything that has a kind of a free side to it. Like that's how that business model would work. Like
Right.
you could go all day thinking about where your numbers are, or like how your sub count is doing, or you could just make some really good content that'll increase those numbers, and in turn, get you to where you want to be.
Hmm. So I want to take a point to talk about Osmo Neko in chat, who mentioned if we're looking at each Twitch page as an individual business, there's a distinct problem that presents itself. There's only so much they could do to stand out and grow in an industry that has giants. It's like trying to open a fast food place in America. It would take several years on average to make it anywhere on Twitch. Even though he points out a good thing about when you wanted to look at it as a business side, you also got to keep in mind whenever a new business comes out, you have to think of it. Amazon, Starbucks, if we're going to like just some, these corporations started off small. They just had, and we're not gonna say something new about the shipping business or coffee. That's not something new. There's been coffee stores all over the U.S., all over the world. That's nothing new, but it's just coming in with a different mindset of what you bring to the table. And here you have it now. Starbucks, which was and small at the time, is now considered one of the most you know sought out places for people to get their coffee compared to other ones. But if you think about it, all they're really offering is just coffee, maybe some smoothie and other things that it may taste good, it may not, but they still came in with a mindset. Same thing when it comes to streaming. If you're gonna look at it as a business, if you come in, there's already people here who's been established. Dr. Loop, Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Disrespect, all these people who are now considered giants, and there's still people on the regular starting on Twitch every single day. And those people now have it as a business. You can think of the same way. You come in on the platform, what is your mindset coming in? Or you think to myself, okay, I want to make money, but how am I going to do that? Okay, I'm going to play this game. I'm really good at it. I'm really entertaining. Or it could be something differently on stream, where in this case, I know that I have a value or something that can be seen as a value for other people to want to invest in. That's the kind of mindset you want to come in. Now, not everyone has the same mindset. If you come in thinking as a business, but you're not really having that mindset going in, is going everything on the flow, it probably isn't going to work out well, and you're probably going to have the downside of it. But then, as most business people out there, you will fail. That's the thing. You will fail, but it's how you come back.
I do
from
want
everything.
to I do want to point out where, speaking of what Ozma said again, he kind of describes how it's over flooded on Twitch. I personally, I don't believe it's over flooded at all on Twitch. What's over flooded is YouTube, definitely. Twitch is still very much in its infancy. I think I knew the numbers once, but I want to say that there's less than a million. There's less than 500,000 streamers. That's a pretty low number. I know 500,000 is a big number, but that's still a pretty low number. Like it's less than like that number. It's a small number. I don't know how to describe it. What I want to do say is that that's where that down there comes in.
Hmm.
Thinking like what sets you apart is that down there. Um, that's why we're doing this stream to talk about the journey of how that changes. What that down there is basically, for people who might be listening, is why do you stream? It's our question of the day. Why do you stream?
Right.
And we started because we thought it was cool, because we could maybe make some money on this website. When you get into content creation, what you learn is to actually grow, you need to set yourself apart, and how you set yourself apart is based on why you stream. What
Right.
are your values? What makes you unique, that
Hmm.
people would actually connect to you than anybody else on the platform? And that is something that is one of the hardest questions, by the way, that you could ask yourself as a streamer. Initially, it's a very easy question to answer, but 4 months into it, a year into it, 2 years into it, if you're getting no growth, then that is a question you need to really ask yourself. What do you provide on this platform? Why do you stream? Why must someone come and watch you? What
Hmm.
sets you apart? Those are all questions that you ask yourself. And if the answer is nothing, then you need to reevaluate your stream completely.
Mhm.
But like that's how that evolution happens. I started out thinking that I just wanted to play some video games on the internet. Now my goal is, and I talk about this on my stream all the time, my goal is to eventually go into charitable streaming. My goal is to eventually have a spot where I can inspire people to follow their dreams like I'm following my dream on the internet.
Mhm.
That's what my goal is now. How I get there is a whole different pathway, but even that's a pathway that I need to plan out. This podcast, stuff I do on YouTube, other stuff I do on other channels, other things I do, it's all part of that pathway to make it to where I want to be, because that is the why of my stream at this point. It's
Mhm.
not because I just want to simply play with fun video games on the internet. It's because I want to create something that I'm passionate about. um and that is something that everybody needs to ask themselves at some point. Yes, you might just want to make money playing video games. Yeah, but that doesn't cut it anymore. That cut it in 2012 and 2014, but that
Mhm.
doesn't just cut it. There's a million people trying to make money playing video games. What else after that? What
Right.
else can you provide after that? And that is when you start to feel like that the platform is incomplete. There's so many things that aren't being done on Twitch. There's like, I have ideas all the time about things that could be done. I found a streamer a few days ago who, it's basically like watching cops live on stream. This guy's a bounty hunter, and he live streams his bounty hunts. So you can literally see him breaking into houses and going and grabbing bounties. That's a new concept. That is something
Mhm.
that had never been done on Twitch. And there's so many things that, like, there's no such thing as a Khan Academy on Twitch. That's something that's been on YouTube since the start of YouTube. Like a dude that's really good at math, just taking math questions. Imagine how amazing that live stream would be. Like a math professor doing a math live stream, and people come with their homework questions and he explains that to them. Like basically Bob Ross, but for math. That's something that doesn't exist on Twitch. So the platform is in no way over flooded. There's so many things. There's so much potential right now. I'm getting goosebumps thinking of all the potential right now. So that's the thing. Like you can't get into the mindset of it's over flooded. I'm not gonna get anywhere.
Mhm.
If you get into that mindset that it's over flooded and I have no choices, then you're gonna trap yourself.
Right.
But
So
yeah.
So to go off of what he's saying, because the topic of today is why do you stream, and how Twiggy said from the beginning he just wanted to play games, and now he's venturing out into different things. Same case with myself. When I first started streaming, it was to play games and then go from there. I thought to myself, okay, I'm a gamer. I'm not bad at video games. I will say that right now. I'm not the best, but I'm pretty decent in the games I play, and I think I have a personality that people will enjoy. But if you really think of it on a from other people's perspective, they have the same thought. I am pretty good at video games, and I either I have a personality, or I'm just really good at video games, or I just have a personality. One of those three. But that doesn't cut it anymore, like you said. It's now gotten to a point where streaming is now being seen as a viable option for something to do on the side. You got it now with esports now being presented on TV. So with my case, I started off, like I said, from gaming, and now I'm kind of venturing away from gaming because that's what everyone else is doing on the norm. And from there, I'm thinking to myself, what is it that I can really bring? And you see, I'm looking at my strengths. Okay, I may be good at video games, but I'm not the best. Well, that may not cut it. But however, I do believe I have a personality that is not the same as someone else. Not to like toot my own horn or boast myself, but I do think my personality to a point can be seen, or where people will find entertaining. They'll find it to where I may speak some truth that they believe as well, and go from there, which is now leading to the podcast that we're in right now. So it's okay to start off somewhere and then venture somewhere else that might turn into something it could work out. Just like I said, from a business perspective, when I came in, thinking to myself, if I want to make money doing it, I had to bring some kind of something to the table. First, I thought I was gaming. Been doing it for 2 years. I've been enjoying it. I still game. That's never gonna end. But I got to do something else to kind of stand away from that stuff that could really bring myself out, which led to this podcast. So we'll see how this podcast goes, and it can venture into something different. Who knows? It could be something that runs all the way to the very end. We become big time, or I learn a little bit more about myself, where I can then venture to something else in a different area and try to put and see how that works out. And so with
Also,
that saying, it's like okay to branch out to stuff like that.
Also, I do want to clarify in chat, Osman, I could just say that there were over 3 million active streamers in May. So I will want to apologize for the numbers that I mentioned, but okay. But I also want to talk about something else that was mentioned in chat, which was by Goof Guy, who said it's merely a matter of bringing in people from outside Twitch. You must have your own way to market yourself. Twitch is only saturated at the top, the middle and lows are still open. And I think he has a good point here, because, yeah, if even if you do think like, in some reality we think that okay, Twitch is overcrowded, there's like
Hmm.
everyone who's on Twitch, which by the way I've had this thought before as well, that everybody who's on this platform currently already has a favorite streamer that they like to watch.
Hmm.
Like, you already have your follow list. A lot of us are following over 100, 200 people. I think I'm following like 400 people. I like watch like maybe five of them, but like, you have your people already that you're watching. You're not really venturing out into new streams and all, so maybe the option is to kind of bring people from outside and gotta market yourself from the outside. And that is something that is, especially like, that is a valid point, that if you think that okay, you're not standing out on this platform, then maybe try to get people in from other platforms that could help you stand out on this platform. Like, there's like this if we're talking not just Twitch and not just streaming and content creation in general, which is what this podcast is as well. It's a type of content that we're creating. If we're talking content creation in general, there's so many platforms that you could be on, that you
Hmm.
could then kind of funnel people back to your stream if that's what you want to do, is grow your stream. Because at the end of the day, sure, there might be a bottleneck of people that, I mean, there is a bottleneck of people that will probably find you on Twitch, but that's not the limit. It's just a link, it's just a website, you can get more people to it. So you got to kind of think how exactly you're going to do that. Make a podcast, start making YouTube videos, start
Hmm.
posting, I don't know, start posting selfies on Instagram. Start at, like, for instance, for me, a really big growth thing this past year has been Twitter. A lot of people that I've met this past year has been through Twitter. And I've
Hmm.
been really like, I just randomly started tweeting about my stream one day, and now suddenly a lot of, like, I know a lot of people through Twitter, and they come into my streams all the time. And that is like, that is how you do it. That's another way you could do it. If you think that, okay, there's no one on Twitch that's actually coming to watch you, then there's a bunch of people elsewhere that might want to come watch you.
Hmm.
um
So then let's think of it this way. So for those who are listening who are new to streaming or who wants to start streaming, what do you suggest when they do start streaming? If they ever ventured into it? Like what
wait
would we what would be something like you said, because we're going about how you can think of it as a business, how you can think of it as growing your community. There's different ways to bring people into your stream. So what is something, if you was to tell someone right now who asked you, hey, I thought about streaming, um, what do you think? What would you say?
I mean, if it's someone just starting out, like,
Well,
they haven't even hit go live once yet.
well, yeah, they
Or
haven't
are
hit
we?
like because they've been, for example, we all start off as a viewer before. I doubt there's a lot of people who just go straight into stream and with the ground. They start off as a viewer, ask someone there, see how it goes, and then they get to know somebody. Then ask you the person, hey, I thought about streaming. What do you think? How would you answer that? Because I've been asked that before. Hey, I've been thinking about streaming. What do you think? And I give my 2 cents. What would you say if someone was in that instance? They don't know how to go into streaming. Just like, I want to start streaming. What do you think?
Well, I would tell them how amazing it is, and they should totally do it. Like, if we're talking broad level, like, they don't even know what streaming is. They've never hit go live. They've never done nothing.
Right.
I would definitely guide them in the way that, okay, just try it at least once, go live at least once, um, and go through the whole like process of sitting there, playing your video game, or doing your just chatting stream, if they even know
Mm-hmm.
what a just chatting stream is, or
Right.
doing your cooking or whatever, and just try and like go through that live process once. If they have, however, tried it once, and they come to me like, okay, so I've been streaming for a little bit, but I don't really know, I don't really like, and I don't really like, I've done this before for other people too. Like, if they're coming to me going like, I don't really know if streaming's for me, or like I did it and I wasn't really into it, then that's when I get into, okay, so Why do you think it's not for you? Why do you think you're not growing? What is
Mm-hmm.
something you're doing? Okay, first of all, this is another question that I always ask someone: would you watch yourself? That's the biggest thing. When you stream, when you make anything on the internet, would you watch yourself? Would you watch what you're making? Because for me, the answer is always yes. I literally I watched my VOD from last night. Just like I was checking for audio and video problems, but I definitely sat there for like 30 to 45 minutes because I can watch myself, and like the content that I make is perfect for someone like me to watch. If you're making something that you yourself don't want to watch, then I
Mm-hmm.
don't think anybody else and this is like the I know it's like such cliche advice, like make stuff that you want to watch, but that's the truest thing. Like if you yourself don't want to watch what you're making, why would you expect somebody else to come and watch what you're making when even you don't have faith in yourself?
Right. So, I mean, that's a good point. Like watching your previous work and seeing it doesn't even have to be one of those like, what can I improve? It's just to watch to see if like you enjoyed your own content. So, and that answers the question, why do you stream? If you're saying yourself, because I think I'm, entertaining or bring good gameplays. Do you watch your own VOD and do you agree that you bring your own, personality to Twitch or you have your own gameplay that people can enjoy? And now, when we saying this, it doesn't have to be one of those. Okay, everyone has to look at the VODs. It all depends on how you look at streaming. If you just do it for fun, growing a community, and all that stuff, you want to meet new people. You necessarily don't need to watch your VOD because you're just doing it for fun. However, on the business side of it, it is something you want to look at. Okay, ended the stream. It's been 3-4 hours into the stream. All right, let me go and look over and see what I did, what I enjoyed, what people enjoyed when it was the time where chat was popping, when was a moment where chat kind of died down a little bit, what kind of things happened here and how can I fix that? It's also a very good thing to point out when you do decide to stream and if you look at to a business side of it.
I mean, not even as a business. Like if you're making something,
Mm-hmm.
then hold up. If you're making something, then you want to make something that's worthwhile, right? Like you want to put your heart into, like, just like not forget streaming content
Right.
creation, like a drawing, like a sketch, like I don't know, like a woodwork. If somebody does wood shop,
Mm-hmm.
um when you make something like that, you put effort into it because you're making it so that it could be used or so that it could be showed off or something like that. Like you want to hang up your painting or you want to put it on your fridge, I don't know. But like you put effort into it, so that's the same as like, this is your canvas, this is your painting. Make something that's worthwhile. um Also, not everything you make is gonna be amazing, but at least make it and put effort into it. Because if you're thinking of streaming, if you're starting streaming but you don't want to put the effort into it, but then you're also looking at the numbers, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. um
But doesn't that take it away from the fact that if you're just doing it for fun, obviously, like, yeah, you want to put effort into it. But for example, you're drawing. Let's say you just draw for fun, right? You draw. You like drawing. Like mine, I like drawing penguins with gangster hats. I like to draw a gangster penguin. I put time into it. I have different ideas, but at the end of the day, it's just drawing. I don't go over it. I'll be like, hey, check it out. What you think? It's just a drawing. Once I
I
draw it, I
mean,
put it somewhere and I hang it
even
up or I throw
then
it away.
even as a hobby, like when you have a hobby, you like, okay, drawing for fun, as in like just sitting there doodling. And even like I've seen people that just sit there doodle, but their doodles are amazing. Their
Mm-hmm.
doodles are out of this world because
Right.
even though they're sitting there just doodling, they're putting that effort into it, and that's just them sitting there like doodling because they find that fun. And they're doing that for fun. They don't want to show that to anyone. They're just doing it to pass their time.
Right.
But they still have that quality and that skill in what they're doing, and that's just for them. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you're doing it as just a hobby, just for yourself, don't you want to feel like satisfied with what you're doing? Like if at the end of the day you're not satisfied with your own work, then like, why are you even doing it? Like why even do anything if like literally you can't satisfy yourself with what you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Like I said, from when I see things, is if you're just doing it for fun, you're doing it for fun. At the end of the day, if it's good or not, toss that behind me. But if it's something that I'm passionate about, like you said, and it's something I really want to get better at, then of course I want to look over my own kind of work and then go off of the things I could work on or get someone else's opinion. I think the best thing to do is have someone else honestly tell you on a real 100%, hey, what you think about the stream, and then have them be honest with you. I know there's a lot of things people just can't handle criticism because they're thinking, oh, you're a hater, you hating on me, and whatever I got going on, you just mad because blah 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 blah. But that may not be the case. It might be someone who wants to support you, and then you ask them about something, then you just go straight into it. You know?
Okay, I do want to break the fourth wall a little bit here and ask, are we gonna take questions, by the way? I mean, should we be taking
Yeah,
questions?
we can. I
Okay.
mean, I looked at
Well,
Goof Guy, so if you want to read his comment,
I mean, sure. So Goof Guy in the chat said, after 2 hours, my stream tends to go quiet, and I'm literally carrying the show by myself, by doing the usual game commentary and trying to remember my cool cop stories and such. Any tips on keeping the chat engaged? I mean, okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying both me and Funk are in no way professional streamers. Not
yes.
even like we're just normal streamers. We're not like our opinion, our like what we say won't work for everyone. I will say that. Um, what I do want to say, Goof Guy, though, is how do you gauge that they're not engaged or whatever? Like you're saying that you tell cop stories, you do your normal game commentary. What exactly, like my follow-up question would be, what exactly tells you that chat isn't already engaged? Like maybe people just aren't talking in chat because they're really like interested in your riveting gameplay, or they're really into your cop stories and they could just kind of want to listen to your cop stories. um like on the advice side of that, what usually, like, my stream goes through like highs and lows. Like there's a lull and then there'll be a high in chat, then there's a lull again, and I think that's completely fine. That's like that's like the normal progression of a stream. What I usually do, what I personally usually do is I like I'll keep asking questions to myself and answering the questions myself. Like I will always keep doing that. Like I know it sounds weird,
Mm-hmm.
but it came from, by the way, this came from sitting in a dead chat for almost 3 months. Like I streamed 3 months to a dead chat that never had anyone in it. But what that taught me to literally just ask myself questions and answer those questions myself. And if somebody in chat wants to chime in, and that's how, like, I have a lot of discussions in my stream,
Mm-hmm.
they like around Twitch and Twitter and game dev and game design, because that's essentially my background. So like I'll be having these discussions and I'll always ask chat, like, what do you think about this and this? And even before anybody can say anything, you'll notice this if you watch any of my streams. Even before anybody replies with anything, I'll start giving my opinion on it. I'll be like, okay, so I think blah 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 blah. And while I'm done, and by the time I'm done giving my opinion on it, probably somebody else has an opinion as well. And so I'll be on that. And also another thing that has worked for me, but Funk, I'll let you talk in like a second. I'm
That's fine.
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Another thing that has worked for me is also having like a topic, having a question of the day or a topic that you do want to focus on. Like I literally, I have notes written down right now. By the way, there's a notebook down here, and if I roll through this, there's almost notes for every single stream that I've ever done. I
He
always
does
have
his
a
homework.
question.
He does
Yeah,
his
I do
homework
my
over there.
homework. I have like pointers of what I'm gonna say, and this works for me. It might not work for everyone, but I have pointers on what I'm gonna ask people, what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna do, and I've started doing this, and that has kind of helped. What about you, Funk? How do you revive a dead chat?
Oh, well, first thing I'm gonna say is Twinkie over here writing points and notes and all that stuff. Like, I'll be real with you. I came to this podcast. I'll go everything off the top of my head. There's nothing written down. My phone's off.
I
There's
mean, he
nothing.
can remember stuff better than me.
It must be. But as far as if you're having a dead chat, that's totally fine. Especially if you're starting off small. But it's one of the things you gotta keep in mind. What are you streaming for? Why do you stream? Do you want to have an engaging chat? Do you want people to be, focused on your gameplay? Like Twinkie mentioned, there could be a moment in chat where it just everything dies down because they're really focused on what's happening in the stream right now. That could be what you want, like, and that's okay. It's okay to have moments in your stream where just not much is being said, compared to if you're one of those who want interactive in your chat, you want people to constantly talk and stuff like that, then you have to put more focus onto your chat. Like Twinkie says, he's asking himself questions, he's going over topics, he's going through everything. He's got a whole notebook of pretty much what he wants to talk about, and he goes through them. He does his homework. He looks at his VOD, He thinks about, okay, what is the topic for today? I'm gonna talk about in the stream and go off of there. In my case, when I have a dead chat and my stream, which happens from time to time, I just let it be. I think of it this way: there's people watching right now who's really into what I'm doing at the moment, so that's probably what it is. So I'm just gonna focus on that one. Maybe I'll say something on the side like, "Oh snap! Look at the gunman coming at me real quick. We're gonna shoot him down. Bang, bang, bang. Something like that." Or one other thing you do have is have some, talk to you people in your community. Maybe you have a mod who comes in off the time. Have him help out. Hey man, on the side. Hey, if you can help me, like if I'm focused in the game real quick and someone comes in, can you greet them, talk to them, get them going? So when I see it, by the time I get to it, I can respond, and then that kind of gets the chat flowing. It's one of the things that I keep myself in mind is I tell my mods, hey, from time to time, if it looks like I'm really focused into a game, if you don't mind chatting, to help, like, get this some kind of words in there for people to get in and want to associate themselves with, I would really appreciate it. Now, it doesn't work all the time. Even your mods won't show up. But hey, at the end of the day, you just got to keep in mindset thinking, I know someone's watching. Either I'm saying something hilarious and they want to talk, or I'm doing something in game that I'm really focused on that they're probably focused on too. It's one of the other two.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the glass half full kind of like a mindset as thinking like they're probably like really involved in my gameplay, and that's completely okay too. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing commentary and you're providing good game commentary, granted, if you're playing a game, then yeah, then that's a completely okay mindset to think that like, okay, so I'm really doing really good in this game, and so like that's probably what people are watching. I mean, go into a huge, like I've talked about this before as well, go into a massive streamer stream, all that chat is just emotes. Most of chat is emo. There'll be like two or three, or like everybody saying the exact same thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
going to Soda Poppin's chat, going to Tim the Tatman's chat, like it'll just be like easy clap or like freaking Papega or whatever. But like that's all what chat is. Like everybody's saying the exact same thing. So it's literally like talking to one person that says the exact same thing over and over
Right.
again.
Right.
So then do you think Tim the Tatman's chat is not engaged? No, they're totally engaged. But what he's doing is he's providing that entertainment factor through his own stream. And he has this entertainment quality that he does not need to depend on chat. So everything he's saying and doing on the stream is what is making his stream. So he completely, like, he has no dependence on stream anymore. Like he has no dependence on chat anymore. So like that, you can think of it like that as well. You can think of it as like chat is so involved in your game that like now it's completely on you. And I don't get pressurized by this, but now it's completely on you to entertain chat because they're into your game. um but
Right.
yeah, that's my take on it.
You basically just want to have a positive outlook, whether your chat is popping or not. You always want to think of yourself, okay, it's gotten to that moment. There's nothing going on. What do you do in that instance? How do I revive it? Keep positive. Okay, let me try to say something funny. It may come out unfunny. It may come out so weird, but that might be another point in the stream where people be like, "What did you just say?" And they'd be like, "I can't believe it just said actually lol, omega lol. Did he really say so and so?" And that will get your chat popping again because you said something. You try to be funny, like, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" I don't know. Why was the chicken crossing the road in the first place? It should be at a farm. Were you trying to be funny in that case? I mean, I was
I
trying to.
I
Boom.
think
Now you got a conversation.
I think even generally like stream environment and stream ambiance is what I want to kind of call it. But like that also kind of helps like the setting that you're in, the setting like for instance, notice in stream every time Jackson's behind Funk, nobody's paying attention to Funk anymore, but everybody in chat is pointing out Jackson, 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 and that's
Yeah.
completely fine. That's the environment Funk streams in, and that even that is going to revive a chat. But at the same time, if you haven't noticed that, Sans, my boy Sans, is back there. That's a thing that'll also revive chat. That's another like stream ambience kind of thing. It's something on screen. Like for instance, I just used to have my window open, and people would say, "Oh, there's ghosts outside your window. Look outside your window. There's ghosts." So I just posted a picture there, and now people actually see freaking ghosts outside my window, and that is also something that chat will point out. So literally, just having something that chat might get interested in and might want to point out might
Mm-hmm.
help as well. But like that's the thing, like you don't know what's gonna happen, but at the end of the day you can kind of think of it positively rather than rather than thinking like it's the whole glass half full glass half empty kind of thing.
Right.
If you think of everything positively, then you're gonna have a positive impact on you. But if you're thinking, okay, my chat died and I'm trying to carry my chat right now, and I'm trying to carry my stream right now, then yeah, then you might get into a self-destructive mindset. I can't
and,
speak.
and to just a little point a little thing out, and when you said being positive and negative, people can see when you have a positive vibe to yourself compared to being a negative vibe. So when you over here and it seemed like you're miserable, like you're playing the game, like you said, no one's chatting, or you know whatever the case may be, nothing's really going on. Showing that in your stream or saying it in your stream or kind of giving that vibe, people will turn away from it compared to being like how you said, if Jackson, who will show up randomly on my stream, he's looking at me right now, you can't see, and everyone focus on Jackson, boom, I'll let that roll with, yeah, Jackson's a spoiled brat, and I'm gonna go into why point A, B, and C. People love it, and then I go off another topic from there. So it's just just being positive. And I'm not trying to promote like you should always have positivity, because even then that starts to get negative. But you just want to have that positive outlook. How he says, half glass, half full and empty, whatever that crap. I can't do the philosophy kind of stuff. That's not my forte.
I mean, you don't want to let it get to you, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if you let something, that's the thing about negativity. Once you let it kind of sit there, it kind of just like grows and grows and grows. So that's kind of what I say. Like, you don't want to get the negativity get to you.
Mm-hmm.
What I do before, like, I think we're coming up on time, but before we do, I do want to comment on another thing that Ozma in the chat said. Is that Twinkie Talks House of Funk Twitch just confirmed sub only streams start today. Talk about that. That is a big one. So I kind of monetization and sub only streams and all that kind of stuff. I did actually, again, going back to the notes, I did have that as a note for like a future podcast. But just like I've talked about this on Funk, do you have any opinions on this? By the way, sub only streams. We'll start with you.
Well, I think like you say, it could be another topic, so we can do like a general, idea of what we think about, this topic, and it
Just the
can lead to
general
the,
idea of
yeah.
sub only streams coming to Twitch. What do you think?
I don't mind sub only streams. I've done it once, and I'll give you two reasons why I think it's a good idea. Good and bad. I think mostly it's bad for certain people. I think it's mostly good for some people. But one, if you're playing a game and you really like it, and it's been known that people come to your stream and troll you and ruin it, then yes, absolutely do a sub stream, because there's no way a troll is going to give you a sub just to troll on you. And even then, at least you made some money out of it. However, if you're doing a sub only stream and you are a relatively new streamer, someone who doesn't have a big community, like for example, if you're doing a sub only stream and you only have 3 to 7 viewers, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot compared to someone who has over 100 viewers doing a sub only. See what I'm saying? It's a different approach to it. You probably shouldn't do it in the beginning, but you should only do it if there's a specific reason to it. That's one of my forte. We probably should get into it in another podcast, but I'll let Twinkie share his little 2 cents on whether he thinks it's a good idea or bad.
My 2 cents, huh?
We don't have much money in this.
So my again, I this goes back to what we mentioned earlier. What did I say? Voluntary content versus pay-per-view content. What sub-only streams allow you to have is it allows you to have a pay-per-view thing. But to in order to do sub-only streams, I feel like you need to have some really good content that people would actually want to pay to actually watch your stream. That's essentially what a sub only stream is. That it's a gate. It's a gate to actually watch your stream. It's a $5 gate to watch your stream. Um, I think it can be used. I think it can be used very positively. Like you can like that. That's the subbing incentive that you could use it for. Like you can literally use it as an incentive to get people to sub, to kind of give them like a foray into your life, or like more like a background subbing thing. There is a negative aspect to this. I do think that it can be abused as well. There's a fly in my room. I do. I'm sorry. I get distracted very easily. I think it can be used very negatively as well. I'm pretty sure, I think it was Admiral Baru, I don't want to misquote, but it was some bigger streamer that pointed this out. That you'll start seeing streamers like Just Dance streamers going like, okay, so I'm doing this cosplay on this stream, but if you sub and catch my sub only stream, I'm gonna be holds up a like a string, and I'm gonna be doing this cosplay on that stream. And I feel like like overall, if it's used like that, then that is kind of bad for the platform as a whole, because it gives a bad image to the platform. But again, like I think that's going to be the closing remark of everything that we've talked about. It's how you look at it. If you're trying to look at it at the positive uses for it, then I think it can be used very positively. But if you want to go into the negatives of it, then yeah, I think it can be abused a lot. But we'll definitely talk about all kinds of monetization
Mhm.
at some point.
I do want to mention from what Anatory said in chat. I just want to grow my community, not demand sub per view, which we've mentioned before that when you go on stream, it is a voluntary. And if you, as a relatively new or a streamer who doesn't have that many viewers on average at the moment, doing a sub only, it's kind of saying, hey, if you want to chat, I need you to sub to me. And it doesn't give that approach to your stream when someone has to come in and have to put in money first to even see the kind of person you are. So it's like demanding money from a business aspect of it. Nobody likes it when you come up to them and be like, hey, buy this right now. I want you to buy this right now. And you keep following them, buy this right now, buy this right now, when you do nothing about the product itself. As you can see, it kind of gives that negative approach to it. So it's one of those you just stay away from. But how Twinkie says, if you're kind of offering like something on the side to kind of promote like those who do invest in your stream, it can kind of be positive, but it just really depends on what you're given with your sub perk, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I really don't want to get started on that because I'll definitely keep going all night if I do. But we will. I want to say we'll definitely have a whole conversation about monetization and how and how like actually if you're trying to make money on stream and how like there's
Mm-hmm.
different avenues to do that. But yeah,
So, so we get into do you want to like see what the audience say? If you have any questions right now about the topic, why do you stream? We'll probably answer like one or two more questions, and then we're probably gonna have
or
to.
even if I've missed anything, if I've missed
Yeah,
anything and you want to put like repost it, then go ahead. But if not, then yeah, we can continue. We can just continue.
right. I think what we're gonna try based off, we're gonna try to keep the podcast anywhere from maybe in between 1 to 2 hours, depending on how hot the topic we're talking about. And of course, we don't want to go into a different subject because obviously it could lead into another podcast. But we could probably have the sub preview or the sub only chat or just monetizing your stream could be another topic itself. So that's probably something. We'll probably also have other guests on here, those who have experienced something different on the stream, who's gone through something unique that some other streamers might want to get into, or how a certain kind of vibe or certain thing they did in the stream would really help them grow. Kind of give the idea of when you think outside the box, does it really benefit you, and what you should do if it does or does not, you know?
Like yeah, like for instance, today was about mostly we kind of got into a few other topics. But mostly today was about me and Funk and Eyes. Yeah, that's correct
I
grammar.
think that's how you say it,
Funk
right?
Funk and I's journey in streaming, but as you all know, there's other people streaming. There's so many people on Twitch streaming, so they all have journeys. So
Mm-hmm.
we definitely want to get other people on to kind of share their journey and kind of share what they're doing. And also, obviously, me and Funk are not professionals in any sort of way. We're not experts in anything, but
Mm-hmm.
there could be people there are, and that could actually kind of answer questions that are literally like related to what they do. And so we would definitely try to have more people and try to go through all. That's why we're doing this, because we like talking about Twitch and streaming stuff. And so we want to cover everything in our opinions and everything, and we just want to talk to all the people. I like to talk, guys, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, if you haven't turned up to Twinkie stream, yeah, 9 times out of 10 he is talking, and if you for some reason had to step away and come back, he's still talking. He does this for about 3 hours, and I'm still, trying to figure out how he has that much air in his lungs because it sounds like he doesn't even breathe at times. He's going from the moment he starts to 3 to 4 hours later, still talking, and not once have I seen him go like this to his streams. Like, okay, guys, give me 1 second.
I mean, okay, guys, give me 1 sec.
Oh, so now he's gonna prove me wrong in the first podcast. But there you have it, folks. We do make changes when it comes to our own little stuff. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This first podcast I think actually turned out pretty well. As far as no quiet moments or you know anything of like that. There was
Uh,
maybe one interruption, but we won't go into
so
that
yeah,
one.
real quick before we end, do you have anything you want to plug?
So for those who want to support us, we do have to let you know. The stream right now is on mine. If you want to follow my personal stream, go ahead. Twinkies has his own personal stream, of course, with the Twinkie Talks command. Let me go and put it in the chat real quick. So you can follow him, support him on stream. He streams on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. I do Tuesday through Thursdays. For right now, it's going to be on our personal streams, but we're gonna move the stream to a separate one. It's gonna be a StreamLevels podcast, but from there you can catch all the podcasts we do once a week, which will be on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. So it's gonna be something in the works right now. But we'll definitely let everyone know who wants to support us. And once again, I appreciate everyone who does. We will be moving it slowly as we progress with the podcast. So
Also, the podcast will also be going up on YouTube, and
mhm.
I'm gonna try and get it up on iTunes, but I'm definitely gonna try and get it on like other podcasting platforms. So if you want to
Mhm.
catch us there, do like go and leave a like and leave some ratings and all that, and just support if you want to support. Also, I also want to mention this guy right next to me. I think I'm pointing on the other direction, but this guy, right, the other side, that guy, he also does. He also has a blog, and if you want to go support his blog and his YouTube stuff, he
Mhm.
does a lot of game reviews. So I don't know if you want to post that in chat, but you can support him there as well.
Yeah, so like I'll go a little bit back to, so why do you stream? Like I said, my original case was to play video games. Now it's gotten to a point where I want to do a podcast and game reviews. So of course, if you wanted to support the blog or the game reviews, the YouTube in the Funk, and of course the blog in the Funk as well, so it's easy to remember. I post both on that one. I kind of turned off the commands for that one because I wanted to keep it straight on the podcast and supporting us individually. But you can do that as well. So
And all these links will be down below.
yep,
But
we will
thank you
have
everybody for
everything.
coming by. I
Thank you,
just dropped my
everyone.
pen.
Nice. So we'll be back again next week for another session of Stream Levels podcast. I am your host, Funk, with my co-host Twinkie Talks. And yeah, you got anything else you want to say real quick before we end
I
this
love
right
everyone. Bye. I love all of you. You're all amazing.
now?
I'll make your
Everyone,
streams amazing.
y'all take care.